Hi, and welcome to another one of my live Snappy Chats. I love doing this. This is all about learning and growing together. By the way, I'm Christine Bell, but this is not about me. This is about learning and growing together in business because the one thing I've found, and I don't know if you agree, Phil, it can get really, really lonely in business when you're doing your own thing, yeah?
Oh yeah.
And we sometimes think, gosh, well, am I going through this? But actually it turns out most of us are going through the same challenges.
Yeah.
And that was the whole reason I started these Snappy Chats, just to learn and grow from each other. So I'm so pleased you're here today, Phil. I'm going to let you tell us a little bit more about yourself. You're from living in Atlanta. I don't know, you probably are from Atlanta
Yeah.
from what you just told me. And you are in the career coach and help people actually get their great career and a job as well. Yeah. So tell us a little bit more and thank you for
Oh
being here.
yeah. So my friend, it's such a pleasure to be here this evening over here. It just hit 6 o'clock, 6:01. I had my dinner an hour ago, so I'm like fueled up, ready to go. But thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Yeah, I am Phil over at fulPHILLment. You can see in my little name badge there, I've got it trademarked. It's got my name in there and everything. And at the end of the day, right, I help mid-career and senior career professionals find career fulfillment by helping them tune into their unique awesomeness, right? And what I mean by that is, their unique value. So I always tell folks at the end of the day, we all have our unique value proposition. We all have talent. We all have a sense of goals and skills and just awesomeness, right, all around. And so I'm there to help literally people tune into that. And I have a unique tune into framework that I have with my business. I'm also an opera singer. I know we talked about that a few minutes ago. I know you knew about that before. And then, of course, in my logo, I've got a little quarter note where the letter
I
I
love it.
is. So there's all these music puns that I like to do out on LinkedIn and all that good stuff. I've been doing fulfillment stuff. I just hit 3 years back in September, so I'm on year 4 of entrepreneurship, and it's been great. Yeah, it's been really good. So
I love that. And thank you so much for sharing. I'm just going to give a shout out to Mike Asherbrand, who's from the Hounds of Business community, which is a great
yeah,
community. And this is how I actually met you in the first place.
is.
So
I
thank
know.
you for the connection. And what I do love is, in terms of what you're doing. And by the way, I had a lot of comments around your whole fulfillment and how much people are loving the whole fulfillment. And you know what? Whilst you're doing it in terms of helping people find their career and find their ultimate job and what's going to make them happy and know what's amazing about them, it's exactly what do I do for business as well. What is unique about you? What is your value promise? What makes you special? And I love that you incorporated in your brand and your logo, that you are also into music and you help people fulfill themselves. So thank you.
Absolutely. Well, and the thing is, I mean, right, music and business go hand in hand, right? So think about it this way, right? Because people are like, well, music, why would you put music? In the very beginning, when fulfillment was first launched, I had some family members, not to like point fingers, but I had a couple. They're like, well, why would you put your music into your business? Like, if you're a career coach, like, what are you doing? And literally, if you think about it, right? I'll just give one analogy, right? So if you think about it, if you're in a job search, right? Obviously you need to have a good, compelling, and clear and concise resume or CV, right? Some kind of document where you're sending an application, you're having a resume CV that you're presenting to the company that you're applying to. So if you have a resume, what are you doing? You're composing, right? Literally, you're composing your own score, right? Your own music score. And when you think of a composer in music, they're writing a composition and creating notes and a beautiful
Yeah.
masterpiece that is going to sound nice and appealing. Same thing with your resume, same thing with your CV. So a lot of those puns come out. I'll give it one more too, right? When you go into a job interview, what are you doing? You're preparing for that interview by doing research on the company, right? By
Yeah.
looking at researching the interviewers that you're going to be talking to and having conversations with. And as far as music's concerned, if you have if you're a singer or if you play an instrument or something, you're practicing a particular piece that you have to do. So when you perform that piece, you're ready to go. So that's why I tie in music into the biz, because it really does have parallels with each other. And I just freaking love it. So
I love it too, and I think it has so many parallels to actually building a business too. Because guess what? It's exactly we need a strategy for business. We need to figure out what's unique about us in business, like you would have to do in your business, fulfillment. It's everything exactly. When you perform, when you work with clients or you sell your product and service, you got to figure out what's unique about you in the grand scheme of things when there are other players there too, just like when you're finding a job. So for me, this is exactly what we're talking about today, which is, whether you're finding a career and you're building finding the best job where you can help people shine, which is wonderful. It's the same thing we're doing in business, isn't it? When you're building your own business.
It is. And that's the thing, right? When they perform and do well in the interview and they get the job offer, like when they get that job offer, like that's the winning high note. Like literally the high note of the whole thing is when they land that job opportunity. That is fulfilling to them. Like that's the whole thing. Fulfillment isn't just a feeling of, joy and of relief and of, happiness and stuff like that when the offer comes. It's literally that point where, they can breathe a little bit and they can be like, all right, I made this happen. Because at the end of the day, right, like the way I do all my coaching like one-on-one as a collaboration. I don't do any group coaching, none of that stuff. I do everything, by the book, like one-on-one with my people. Because everybody's journey or everybody's composition is different, right? So a lot of my my programs that I offer, within the Tune Into framework, if I can talk, is all customized to the individual for sure. Mike, I feel fulfilled now. Thanks. I know that Mike has missed. I know because I've missed everybody in the community so much. It's been such a crazy year. I got to get back on there. But I know, if anything, I know that's one thing Mike has missed tremendously by saying, I feel fulfilled now.
In his accent, in his Kentucky accent, which I love.
You could hear him say. That's the thing. You could hear him say it when he puts. But that's what this place is all about. Like it's just oh my gosh. But yeah.
And I love, like you said, it's like when they land the job, just like when we land a client or we sell a product, but there's something more to it when you actually get the career you want, because actually you're looking forward to actually being able to be your best, perform your best, do something you enjoy, make a difference, So you're actually helping people create something in the world by helping them get the job that they really want.
Exactly. And, that takes time sometimes, right? Like I think what's important to note, see what I did there? What's important to note is when you're looking to make a career move, right? Whether you're in a current job opportunity and you're wanting to make a change or change your tune and go into a completely different career opportunity or a different industry, right? A lot of that like self-reflection takes time, but that's one of the things that I love to focus on with my clients, right? We're not just starting and saying, all right, let's do your resume. Like, let's start there. Like, obviously that's a very important, beginning step, but it even goes before that. And it goes to really helping them with their mindset. So I have a kind of a unique framework within the Tune In process where we start with their mindset and we get their mindset right where, they become positive, we get them confident, along their value. And then we start, acting with intention. And then we focus on their resume, we focus on their LinkedIn profiles, etc. Because if the mindset's not there, then it's going to take longer to try to get that motivation to, then act with intention. So like mindset, then when you get that mindset, then you have more clarity in the next steps and what you want to do. So with the mindset and clarity, then you can strategize and really move forward. So all of those steps, they take time. But that's what's most important though about how I love to offer my services to people is I'm very, very quality driven versus quantity driven. So for me, it's making sure that folks are finding fulfillment the first time around. And it takes some time and dedication to do that.
So. And you know what? Good things usually take time, If there's something we really want in life, if we could just get it tomorrow, it wouldn't be as fulfilling, but exactly that. It takes time. And the same goes for business. So you own your own business as well. So I see so many, what do you call it? Parallels here too. Because this is exactly what it's about. We got to get clear on our mindset. We got to get clear on our vision, what actually fulfills us in business, and then make that happen. So tell me, in terms of building your business for the last, was it 3 or 4 years? You said you were 3 years?
Yep, a little over
Yeah.
3. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we both, I think we've been talking about this. We can all agree it's an interesting journey building a business from scratch. So, tell me about one of the challenges you faced and how potentially have overcome it or can help others who are going through the same, please.
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think for me, I kind of want to start from the beginning, if you will. And I think for
Yeah.
me, so I'll kind of talk about where things were before fulfillment was a business entity, right? And so I was in prior to fulfillment, I was in the HR recruiting space for about 10 plus years.
Yeah.
I had gone through not one, not two, but 3 consecutive layoffs in my career.
Oh.
So 3 different companies within a year's time or less in each role, I was laid off. Or I don't like to say that.
Oh,
My roles were eliminated. I usually like to
I
talk about
know.
that. It's not about you, it's
But
about the
sometimes,
role.
exactly. But sometimes it can take a little bit a hit on the confidence. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like, oh, like, okay, the first time I'm like,
And
all right, I can find something. The second time it's like, okay, well, what's going on? So I'm like, third time's a charm, it's gonna be great. And then of course COVID hit and a lot of folks got, affected, their roles got eliminated. And
yeah.
we're still seeing some of that now, right? We're still
Yeah.
seeing, companies reducing their workforces and stuff like that. So that was in 2020. So between 2020 and 2021, I was at a point where I'm like, all right, what do I do with my life? Right. Like I was laid off 3 times. Like, do I want to try to go back into corporate? Do I want to just freelance somewhere or do I want to do my own thing? And for me, I think the biggest challenge was really getting my mindset, we said that earlier, to a point where I could really say to myself, I can do this. Like I can
Yeah.
make this thing happen. And so I started just like most folks do when they start on LinkedIn, with content creation and commenting out there. I was really just there to help, kind of share my experience and some of my value, pro bono for free, right? And really, the name fulfillment came from just a wacky hashtag that I did because back in 2020, 2021, having kind of a hashtag on LinkedIn content was important. So I'm like, all right, let me think of something that is going to make sense where I can kind of show who I am, but more importantly, help people by providing the value and the know-how that I have, like within the job search, arena and the career arena, right?
Yeah.
So what became kind of a unique, wacky fulfillment name, then I started getting clients, in and helping them for free. I became overwhelmed because I'm like, all right, well, I should probably monetize the work that I'm doing, right? But
Must be a good idea. Yeah.
I was still at that point, Christine, where I'm like, I just don't think I can. I don't think I can do this. Like I'm not. There were parts of
Mindset.
imposter syndrome, right? I'm like, I'm not worth it. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. It's gonna take forever to build it. Like, who's gonna support me being an entrepreneur when I was, a bigwig corporate talent ag manager? Like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And just really it took some time for me to get past that imposter syndrome. But once I
Yeah.
did and started the business, it really became a steady little side hustle. So that was really challenge number one. I think the second
Yeah.
challenge too, and I know we've talked about this before too, you and I, is now that we've been doing entrepreneurship for a while, both you and me, and I'm sure other folks on the audience, whether they're
Yeah.
entrepreneurs or job seekers, what have you, you know, when the results that we strive in our life, whether it's personal or professional, right, et cetera, the results, they take time. And
Yeah.
so I think some other challenges too are when business goes on the down end, right, of the wave, right? Businesses are highs and lows all the time. There's
Yeah.
never consistent level, right? So sometimes when business is on the downhill or the down wave, it can be really frustrating because then you start having anxiety come in, you start having a lot of thoughts like what if questions. Well, what if I don't make any income this year or this month, excuse me, or this year? Or,
Yeah.
what happens
Yeah.
next? Where am I going to find my next client? You think of all these mixed questions
Yeah.
that come in your
Like,
mind.
how am I gonna pay rent? How am I gonna pay mortgage? How am I gonna
Exactly.
eat next month? What about this? I've got these outgoings because it also costs a bit of money to run a business. You got to set up a few systems. There's money involved. Yeah. And it's like, what do I
Exactly.
do? So for me, it's all mindset too. Yeah. And it's scary sometimes.
It takes, and that's the thing, it takes money to make money. Like I think that's the other thing too. And I think also that was another challenge too, is for a while I didn't want to invest in myself, right?
Yeah.
or in the business to let it grow and succeed and really to nurture it. But the way I see it too, yeah, and Karen has a great comment right here. It just popped in.
Yeah,
Results take time. Ain't that the truth, Phil? So many people. Exactly. Yes, exactly. It
100%.
takes time. It takes time. Karen's spot on with that.
And the same with getting the right job, the same with getting the right clients, the same with building a business. It takes time, but we all
Does.
want immediate results. We're building this, I think the world we live in right now, we're like, we need to have instant gratification. That's kind of the name of the game, but it's not true. It's not how it works.
Exactly. And so, how I kind of navigated or tuned into, those challenges that I've had to really get myself through the challenges, not above them or below them, but really through. I think my opinion is, if you have challenges, you want to try to go through them and be resilient and really fight through the challenges, because that will make you stronger. That will make you more
Yeah.
resilient. That will grow you and that will transform you. But a lot of it, and I say this, like, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be like, oh, I've heard that before, but I really think it's true. A lot of it is focusing yourself and being around people that support you, like whether that's friends, family, this community, the Hounds of Business community, etc. Right? Finding a community, an inner circle of people that know your potential, right? That know your value, that know your worth. So when you go through those challenges or those dips, you can reach out to them and say, hey, can we talk for a few minutes? Can I vent over to you
Yeah.
for a second? Can we just chat about my frustrations? And they will help you get back on track. That's helped me tremendously. So that's what I do.
Me too, and that's such great advice. And actually, on Friday, I organized a in-person networking lunch in Sydney,
Yeah.
and I invited people I've met in the last 3 years through different ways. They're all in business. I made sure everyone had their own business, so they're all business owners or founders. And I invited them. We were about 18 of us, and it was so interesting. Some of them had never been to a networking event before, and afterwards they said to me, "You know what? I'm so glad I got here. I thought it was just me who was going through a tough time, but now I know I'm not the only one, that it's kind of normal, that we all on this path." And she also said, "You know what? I don't feel I can always talk to my friends because they're not in business. They don't quite get what it's like." And so she was like, "I'm so thankful for this because I met, like-minded people." And she's like, "I now realize that it's so important to reach out to other people who are going through the same experience of building a business, because
Mm.
we can easily make it about us. Oh, I did this wrong, I'm not good enough, or it's me again, or it's happening to me, etc. When in fact it's, well, of course you got to get your mindset right, but often it's just life. It's just how business is.
Well, and the thing too, and this is what's really important to me, and I think this is, I say this in my free introductory job search course, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
Yeah.
But one thing that helps me out too, and I'm gonna share a reminder or like a public service announcement to folks here, but I also want to share another tip of advice that I've done that has helped me out with it when it comes to community and support groups.
Yeah.
The reminder is that there are more people in our lives who support us more than we think, right? Like we can think of a couple people on like, our two hands or,
Yeah.
first five fingers, whatever, family, friends, whoever.
Yeah.
But if you start really thinking about it, there are a lot more people out there that we can start thinking, if we really start thinking deep, there are a lot more people who support us more than we think they do. I think that's the most important. That's the reminder. The tip of advice is, so on my desk, on the top left of my desk up here, I have a list of about 10 people. And I challenge folks to do this, right? Get a piece of paper. I usually tell people handwrite this. Get a piece of paper and write maybe like 10 to 12 people on this piece of paper.
Yeah.
Whether it's family, friends, whoever. As a reminder, so like if I'm struggling or I'm going through something, I can look at that list literally right here, and I can reflect and say, hey, those 10 to 12 people on my list, they're there for me no matter what happens. They have my unconditional love and support, and vice versa. But that also has helped me, because in that way I can reach out to any of those people on that list if I ever need them and say, hey, can we talk? Like, I know it sounds like cheesy or whatever, but
No,
that is something that has helped me a lot.
I love that idea. I think I'm going to actually follow that and put it up on my wall. I've got things around mindset on my wall right behind my screen that
Yeah.
I'm looking at right now. But actually, I think that's a wonderful idea. And I think it comes back to also why I started the Snappy Chat. We can feel quite lonely, but the fact is we're not alone. You know,
And
there's other people going through the same, and there's other people, like you said, who are supporting us, and reaching out is actually quite important when we're feeling down. So
and
also with that,
and you
sorry,
know what's interesting? Can I say something too? So I personally, you hear the word solopreneur a lot, right? Like if you're an entrepreneur, if you're doing your business all by yourself, which I am over here, right? I personally don't like the word solopreneur, to your point, because we are not doing this alone, right? Like we have other people around our support group. But I like the word entrepreneur better, because if you break down the word if you just have the word entre, ENTRE, right? Entre is
yeah,
Spanish for between, I think. I just did a Google search. Like entre means between. Like it's in, like
yeah,
you're in between business,
your
relationships
journey,
with people. Exactly. And that's why I like personally entrepreneur, because, or like when I think of entre, I think like an entree, like if you're an
yeah.
entree of food, like if you go to a restaurant and it's like family style, like you're sharing the entrees of food with other people, like that's another quirky thing that I think about. But it's like stuff like that reminds me too, like, okay, no, I'm not doing this by myself.
And you
You know,
know what? The whole thing, I was just thinking what you're saying is it's like a journey, yeah? And on a journey, there's many different experiences that we're gonna have, yeah? We're never still. So even when we think we're in the worst of the worst, actually it's just one day, it's 1 minute in the time, yeah? And
it
things will
is.
change. Life changes all the time, whether we like it or not. It will
I
change,
know.
yeah?
Oh, I know. Well, and that's the thing. My motto, so my business motto, and I have it on the bottom of every post I do on LinkedIn and on social media, right below my name. My motto is fulfilling your journey. So, like,
Yeah,
it's
perfect.
truly about the journey, not the destination. So I think when people, whether they're job seekers, career professionals, entrepreneurs, whatever, I think another reminder too is don't think so much about the destination and where you want to go. Focus on the journey and focus on the now and the present. Because strategy is important, and strategizing your business model and stuff is key to,
Yeah.
for the long term. But if you're not focusing in on the present moment and the journey, then it's going to fly away like that. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, like it's already the end of the year, which it is.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, exactly. You got to be in the moment. Yeah, we got to have a strategy, but then we got to actually act in the moment. You can sit and have a great strategy. If you don't actually execute it, there's no point. And
uh-huh.
execution is, an everyday thing, whether it's our mindset we're working on, whether it's a post we're putting out, whether it's a new offer we're bringing together. It's
A new
all
what?
part of the
What was that
journey.
last one?
Like the offer, like a
Oh,
product
new
offer,
offer. Okay. I
service
thought you
offer.
said a new opera. I'm like, a new opera will come in. What? A new opera will
Uh,
coming together.
It could be that. It's just a Danish English accent. My
I
Dinglish
love
is
it. A new offer.
what it's
Yes.
called. My husband calls it Dinglish, English and Danish together.
I love it. I love your
Uh,
accent.
oh, thank you. But yeah, so back to this mindset thing as well. So what helped you? Because you said one of the big challenges is this thing about imposter syndrome, which I think a lot of us is like, what right do we have to suddenly pop up and be the next thing? Yeah. What was the
Hmm.
key thing that helps you with your mindset on a, I guess, daily basis? I think we work on it sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, I think for me, one of the biggest things that I do, is I used to be a night owl, and I think for me, I've kind of reversed my order of events. So I used to work out at night. Now I work out during the day. So like I do hobbies. I do a lot of my hobbies in the morning,
Yeah.
because like I go work out, whether I do a 5K run or I do something like that, or I'll play the piano or sing. Like I do a lot of that stuff right before I even log on LinkedIn and social and
Yeah.
technology. I get up early, and I spend, a few hours like to myself
Yeah.
holistically, right? Where I'm doing something that I enjoy, especially working out, right? Just getting out there, getting my endorphins going, getting the serotonin in my brain, all that stuff, just dopamine,
Yeah.
everything, getting all the right chemicals aligned in my body, and getting my soul just whole or fulfilled, right? So when I
Yeah.
do get on social, I do work with my clients, I have, busy seasons and busy times, I am at my best self. I'm 100% Phil. And that's
I
one
love
thing
that.
too. That's one. Yeah, walk. I don't run unless a dog is chasing me. Feel good, man. Yeah, exactly. Well, even walking my dog Grace. Doing hobbies and things that I enjoy that are mindless, right? So I can come into the moment with my people mindfully, or mindfully, I like to say.
I love that. And Karen is saying the same. So thank you. I think the morning self-care changed things for me too. And actually,
Yes.
exactly what's happened for me too. We got to fill our own cup. And guess what? What
Fill
I do
our own.
now,
I see. Now,
and I thought I'd just put that one in there. And I walk the dog. I meditate. I spend time in nature. I do something. I even draw. I love drawing. If you haven't, have you know Claudia? She does great events with drawing and stuff,
Yes. Oh, yes.
and coloring. So I like attending her stuff. I do it myself
Beautiful.
as well. And for me, that is actually what has changed, because I actually burned out my career. That's how I ended up working for myself, and
Yeah.
it was all in the mind. It was all up here, yeah. And literally that has helped me so much. I love that advice. Now we are running out of time, so I want you to talk a little bit more about what you do and how people can reach you and how they can work with you, because you're amazing. And if you want, you can always sing at the end too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on LinkedIn, right? Like the best way to connect with me is LinkedIn, linkedin.com/in/Phil-the-recruiter. That's my URL, or you can find me on here. If you're listening, you can just go to my profile, connect with me there. That's the best way to
And it's
connect
right
me.
here in the banner.
Right here. If you go on Google and do a Google search of fulPHILLment, spelled that way, fulPHILLment, you'll be able to find me and all my socials and stuff. I tell people that's probably a pretty easy way to reach out. But I'm an open book. I mean, I'm here and happy to help folks. You know, I'm a pretty transparent guy. Diane is amazing too. Diane Newman's one of my clients, so she is awesome. Thanks for tuning in, friend. You are incredible and amazing as well. Yeah,
and
but
you also do some free stuff. You offer some free stuff as well if people just want to find out more, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yeah. So I have a free introductory job search course that is basically, I created it last year, but it's pretty relevant to job search strategy. So if job seekers out there, whoever you are, you don't have to be mid-career, senior career, you can be entry level, whoever. If you're stuck and you need a quick little pick me up, my course is on my website, fulPHILLment.com. You'll see on the top right of my homepage, it says free job search course. Click on that. You can access the course as many times as you want. But that's my freebie. I tell people all the time, if they want to access a freebie, that's what I've got. Always happy to follow up with
Put it in the
people.
comment if you can as well.
Yeah, I can do that. I'll do that right now. Let's do that here.
Because see, you're really good at writing. I can't do what you're doing. You're writing to people at the same time whilst talking. And I still thought you were completely paying attention to me. So I don't know if you can just.
That's the millennial in me. Us millennials like to multitask. Or either that
you know
or
what?
I.
I'm so old that I learned on a typewriter. Yeah, there was no computers when I was learning in grade 8. I had to learn on a typewriter, and I was hopeless at it.
But yeah, so I've got that there. The other thing too, since it's the holiday season, I typically do a end of year special where I offer 50 minutes of one-on-one coaching for $50 cash, which is great. So for a $50 investment, you can talk to me for 50 minutes. I haven't launched it yet, but I may be doing that here in the next couple of weeks. But that's going to be something I'll do too for folks out there that are in need of some help. And
the job market's changing a lot. I don't know about America, but here right now, I was talking to someone who's looking for a job, and she's like, well, there's lots of jobs out there. She said, but there's like 100 people for each that are putting an application for each job. She said, so they literally, unless you fulfill their exact requirements, you're not in. So she said it's very competitive here at the moment.
Yeah, I tell people too a lot, they're asking, what do you think about it? What do you think about the job market? I think it's pretty much the same. I mean, from compared to last year, I mean, I still think it's an employer driven market here in the States, but I think it will start turning next year, I think, for sure. So we just got to keep at it. Just keep the pace.
Exactly. And in life, it's like this. The journey is like this, it's up and downs. And once we have a downturn, it's going to turn up again, and it's going to be amazing. I believe 2025 is the year for amazement and fulfillment.
It is the year.
See, I just put that.
It is. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's the year of fulfillment. It's the year of fulfillment. Right? I had to do that.
Beautiful. What a beautiful voice. I always like Oprah. I can't sing for the life of me, by the way, but I always loved Oprah. Oprah. How do you say it in English? Opera?
Opera, yeah.
Yeah.
Either way.
I learned from a young age to appreciate it, so I do love it.
It's a lot of fun. I love doing it and going to like the different operas. We'll go to the Atlanta Opera over here and listen to some of the operas and stuff like that every couple months. So we're season ticket holders, what have you. So
of course. Have you ever been on stage too?
Oh yeah, back in like college and elementary school and high school. I haven't done anything yet professionally, but someday I might. I do sing at the local church downtown though, so I do cantering and solos for the church. So
Wonderful. I love
I get my
that. Well,
fill. I get my fill over there, you know.
you're filling your cup, yeah?
I'm filling my cup, yeah.
Thank you
Oh
so
my
much. We
God.
got to finish now, but this is
Yeah.
Snappy Chat. So, although I could speak to you forever, so it wouldn't be so snappy. But thank you so much for your time. Any
Oh
last
yeah.
words of wisdom you want to share with the audience? And thank
Yeah.
you for everyone being here.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, my friend. I tell folks in the audience, you know, just keep at it, and just again know that there are people in your corner supporting you. So reach out to somebody, right? Reach out to somebody if you're feeling frustrated or anxious, and we're all in it together. We really are. So
Yeah, absolutely love it. And I'm gonna take your advice about putting those 10 to 12 names on my wall behind me, so I know when I'm feeling a bit down, there's always people who are supporting me. Because, like you said, we're not alone. That is
yeah,
the illusion that we think we are.
it's such a good reminder, though. So yeah, I definitely tell folks
Yeah.
do that. Definitely do that.
Thank you so much for your time. We're going to finish off, and we got Yolanda here, Mike here, Karen here, and I think one of your friends who I can't see the name was here. So thank you so much for being with us, and anyone who's watching in the
Absolutely.
future as well.
Yeah, thanks
Take
for
care.
having me.
You're welcome. Bye.